All right, looking ahead now, we get into our keys every week. This week, Mike was telling me he's got 4 instead of our usual 3. We got an extra one for you guys heading into the playoffs. That much bigger. Must-win situation. So we're all counting on Mike. He's got to come up with the formula to get it done. Big game on the lakefront in Chicago, Soldier Field tonight. Mike, what is key number 1 for the Bears to get a victory, a playoff victory?
Yeah, man, we got 4 keys this week. Very confident in these keys, too. All right, I'm going to start with my first key. Whenever you play this Packers team, you know it's going to be probably the biggest key. They're one of the best teams in the league at this, so we have to rise up and compete with them at this aspect of the football game, and it's situational football. When it comes to third down offense for them, there's not many teams out there that do it better. Our defense has got to make some stops on 3rd and 4th downs, as well as our offense has got to be effective on 3rd down and in the 2-minute drill. So I'm just going to say situational football in general is going to be the biggest key in this game, and that's my key number 1.
Love that one. Like we talked about how, narrow the margins have been in these games. Situational football, those decisions, it could very easily come down, on that razor's edge to certain things, like you said, handling those 2 minutes appropriately, who wins that 3rd down battle. Love that key. I mean, going off of it specifically from my perspective, I know we talked about this in the leading into the second matchup against the Green Bay Packers this year. 3rd down is just so massive. I know a lot of that data is a little bit skewed because it's like, well, I'd just rather be the team who never really gets to 3rd down. That's the problem with this Bears defense is they don't win on 3rd down lately. Teams don't really get to 3rd down very often. They've been doing a solid enough job in the red zone, containing those people to 3s instead of 6s. But I don't know, defense. How about 3, 4, 3 and outs? Is that too much to ask for? Get that ball to your offense. The way we talked about, a lot of these slow starts have been sort of, contributed to by the defense not being able to stop anybody, letting these opponents will march up and down the field and just hold on to the rock. So, yeah, I love that key, the 3rd down piece of it in particular. I need that defense to step up from my perspective. Key number 2.
Key number 2 plays a little bit hand in hand here. I'm just going to say the overall defensive game plan's got to take a few more chances. It seems like the last 3 or 4 weeks we've been playing a brand of football on defense that allows everything underneath, and guys are getting the ball and they're just picking up yardage, first down after first down, churning that clock. While I think that might be a result of the big plays that the Packers got the first time around, all of those explosives, I think that's maybe why the defense has been playing that way as of late. I think we got to go back to taking a few more chances. I just think if we play that brand of football where we let everything underneath, I think that we're going to end up with like 7 possessions in the game, and we're just not going to have enough opportunities on offense. So I think we have to take some more chances on defense. That's key number 2.
I really like that one a lot, honestly. I agree that they, have sort of been all about that bend, don't break mentality. And I'm just not sure that's going to win you a football game in the playoffs. The way that the Packers marched up and down, they didn't punt last time they were at Soldier Field. So, and they had a backup quarterback for most of the game. So I think that's a huge piece of it. Send some people. You're obviously not getting to the quarterback. You're not getting home, with just those front 4. So send some random blitzers here and there, put the pressure on, like you said, take some chances, run some games in the back end of that defense, try to confuse Jordan Love. I think that's a great shout. Just be a little bit more aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that goes into what we've done on the offensive side of the ball. If you get burned, all right, fuck it, because the offense is going to go score. They got your back. Play aggressive out there, with some good intent. I like that key. I like that key a lot. Not to mention, we know that Jordan Love has a tendency to turn the ball over when you heat him up. He's a different quarterback. He's certainly not perfect. And I think if you do kind of keep him guessing, you play aggressive, I think you can feed into those turnovers that have been such a key factor over the course of the season for the Bears. I mean, as Homer says himself in that Milwaukee market, you cannot trust Jordan Love. Key number 3.
This is kind of a weird key, kind of an easy key. I think you got to find a way to get some sort of early lead or at least some early points. We've started so slow, especially this last month, started so slow in both games against the Packers. We need to have a better start. If there's a way we could get a little bit of an early lead, put a little bit of pressure on their offense, I think that puts us in a much better spot to win this game. Basic key, but a key nonetheless. Get an early lead is going to be my third key.
Basic key to your point, but this is a Packers team that hasn't won a game since damn near November. They're coming in on 4 straight losses. They're coming in without their best player. They're coming out without another huge key cog in that defensive line and Devontae Wyatt. If you get out in front of them early, just fucking break them. Maybe that is the sort of the opportunity for this to not be such a tight game, for it to not be so close. You get out a little bit of that lead, you get a 10-2 touchdown lead early on in the game and just stomp on them. Put the gas pedal down. Don't let them back into it. I think that's certainly a path, to a potential blowout. I think this team, if you beat them down early, I think you could run away with it and really bury them. I don't know if I feel super confident that that'll be the case, given what's been going on in the course of the last month from the Bears' perspective and what they've done in the offensive side of the ball in these first halves. But I think it'll be a huge, huge factor on the good side of their getting them a W if they do. Key number 4.
Last key going into this season, if you asked 10 people what the strength of the Bears was going to be this year, what position group, probably all 10, if not pretty close to all 10, would have told you the defensive backfield. They have not played like a top-tier unit in a long time. They get Kyler Gordon back this week. Granted, he's coming straight off an injury into the playoffs, which is a tough spot. But this defensive backfield has to play better than they've played in months for the Bears to have any sort of chance. The Packers don't have any, tier 1 guys at the pass catching position, but they have a lot of guys that can beat you if you let them. Our defensive backs got to earn their money this week, and if they don't, I think we're going to lose. If they play to their ability, I like our chances. So defensive backs, I'm putting a lot of the pressure on you this week. Go earn your paychecks. Key number 4.
I agree with what you said about going into the season. That defensive backfield has been pretty highly touted. Jalen Johnson, people are like making this excuse that he looks like he's injured. Then don't fucking play, man. If you can't run up and down the field, get your ass on the sideline. He's been horrible, these past couple weeks. Need him to step up. It's great getting Kyler Gordon back. Hopefully he's healthy enough to play. Nahshon Wright sucks. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me about what he does from a turnover perspective. He can't cover shit. He couldn't keep a baby in its fucking crib. He doesn't need to be on the field. I don't know why Tyreek Stevenson's not playing. I don't know if that's a coach's thing. I would rather see him out there. I think he lays the lumber. I think he's a better defender. I think he's a better overall player. I don't really care about the magic Nahshon Wright's pulling out of his ass. He's a practice player guy. Hell of a year. Appreciate his contributions. But put your top guys on the field this week, please. Jalen Johnson, you got to be the man. You got to be that number 1 guy. You tell us you are. And you had been in previous years. You've fallen off a cliff the last 2 years, and then the last couple weeks in particular. Got to bounce back. Got to give us something. Shouts out Kevin Byard. He's probably not, in my opinion, as good as maybe a first-team All-Pro, but first-team All-Pro is pretty sick. Good for him in that defensive backfield, kind of holding it down. I think he's a great veteran leader. I hope he has these boys fired up and ready to go. I love that key of kind of the that defensive backfield taking some ownership this week, and doing their thing, being a significant factor leading us into the divisional round.
Yeah, man. And I'm not going into making keys about the offensive line or the quarterback or the pass catchers, because I just have confidence that those guys are going to show up and play. All the keys I got are things that are legitimate concerns of mine that I feel like Green Bay could potentially exploit us on. But I think if we're able to accomplish even like three of those keys, I think we got a really good chance of getting a win.
Hell yeah. How are you feeling in general about the game? You like the Bears tonight? You think they get it done? Where's your head at there?
Well, I like them better than I've liked them in years past against the Packers. If this was a few years ago and we were in a wild card game against the Packers, it'd be like, oh shit, we're going out to slaughter. I feel like this is a game where it's truly a toss up. I would probably lean us, as crazy as that sounds. The only thing I don't love is it feels like everybody's leaning us right now, and I wish it was a little bit less. But I don't know. I think if we do those keys, if we're able to, do some good things offensively, get a decent start. Green Bay is not some juggernaut right now. Losing Wyatt, losing Parsons, massive for their defense. Love's coming from the concussion. There's a lot of shakiness, it seems, seemingly going on with their head coach right now, where he's potentially somehow on the hot seat. I think we could find a way to get a win this week and host a second playoff game. What about you, Jack?
I think we have to. I don't think it's so easy to. Let me rewind for a second and just give Green Bay a little bit of their due credit in the sense of what they've accomplished in the postseason the past couple of years. Their resume, I don't think, can be ignored. They've been coming in as these lower seeds. They've always been on the road, and they've been winning plenty of road playoff games. They have the experience. Jordan Love's been getting it done in those moments with LaFleur. So you have to give them some credit there. Now, so, you can kind of see a little bit of I could see where it's tough to bet against the Packers. I don't think it's so easy to roll into the postseason and say, now it's go time. You're not Mahomes and Andy Reid. You haven't been winning 100 Super Bowls. I think that they are limping in. They don't have their best player. Like I said, they haven't won in a month. I don't find it so easy that they're just going to all of a sudden be the team that they were earlier on in the season. So I think that plays well on the Bears side of things. And then the last point about it that I'll make is I don't think regardless of what happens in this game, I think it's a hugely positive season. I think you got the quarterback. I think you got the head coach, and it's full steam ahead for the better part of the next decade, God willing. But you know how it goes, man. Look at Detroit. This shit is fleeting. Look at Washington last year. You don't know when these moments are going to come back. You have to take advantage of it. You're at home. You're the 2 seed. You should win this game from my perspective. I don't care that you've arrived early. I don't care that you're ahead of schedule, whatever you want to call it. This is a huge opportunity. Don't let it slip. Go out there, get it done, leave no doubt at home tonight in Chicago. Any last thoughts from you before we jump out of here?
No, I'll go ahead with the score prediction. I'm going to say Bears find a way to score some points in this game, and I think it's a difference. I'm going to say Bears 27, Packers 23.
I like it. I could dig it. I think that some of this is supposed to be a pretty wild weather forecast. I think some of that's kind of moved out of the forecast a little bit. But yeah, I think they're going to have to score some points because I just don't trust the defense to hold them to anything less than 21. So I'm probably in that same ballpark as you. I'll take the Bears. I think they could really run the rock on this team tonight. I just hope that they commit to it the way that they did earlier in the season. I'll take the Bears, Packers 27. I think they are going to score some points. And I'm going to give a shout to Kyle Monangai anytime touchdown. DeAndre Swift's fine. He's had a hell of a season. I don't know. I like Monangai to pound the rock, be a little bit more physical with this team, sort of impose your will up front all night long.
I like it.
All right. That's that. First playoff game in a long time. First one since we've been doing this show. It's exciting stuff. Got to take care of business. Hopefully we can keep it rolling, come back. It's a hell of a lot different. Years past by like week 8, week 9, we're just talking about like draft type of shit. So it's fun. It's good to be a part of. Still plenty of problems, plenty of things to correct over the course of the time. But we'll save that for another day. It's a meat and cheese week. Got to take care of business tonight. Beat down those disgusting looking cheesehead Packer fuck boys tonight in the city. And let's go get it, man. Anything else?
Oh man, bear down. Like and subscribe if you're new. Peace.